What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Nick. I talk all about trading and investing, and today we are talking about reversals and looking for signs of potential reversals in the foreign exchange market specifically. So stay tuned. Let's get into this video and talk about some ways that you can spot potential reversal in markets before or even just as a reversal is starting to happen. So stay tuned. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, so today we are talking about rejection and reversals in the foreign exchange market. But before I get too far in this video, I got to show you guys something. So today is my birthday at the time of filming this. And look at what my team got me. This is so cool. They got me a World's Best Boss coffee mug. And if you don't know where that's from, there's an office show, or a show called The Office in the US. It's really popular. You may have heard of it. And the boss there has a cup that he bought himself called the World's Best Boss. So I thought that was funny and creative. So thank you to my team. That is awesome. And today we're talking about rejection. So rejection is a really interesting concept in trading and investing. The idea here is that we're looking for signs on the chart where price has gotten to an extreme, it's gone way too far one way or the other, and shown signs of time to reverse or give back some of the move. A lot of times rejection comes in many different forms. You have things, for example, moves like this where you get the head and shoulders pattern. That's a very common concept of reversal or looking for rejection. Is basically, you've got the higher high, and then you have a lower high, and this is a potential signal, if you will, that the market is ready to come down. Now, there's all sorts of different ways to look for things like that. And I'm going to say right off the bat that rejection and looking for tops and bottoms in the markets is not an easy thing to do. There's the expression that the trend is your friend until the end. And we're going to break that down today because for me, trying to just buy into something that is roaring to the upside like this is a very tough game to play. However, the saying goes, the trend is your friend until the end. And how do you spot the end of a trend? Well, today we are, like I said, going to be getting into that. And there's a couple different ways that we're going to talk about. The big ones, like I mentioned, are things like head and shoulders patterns. You've got concepts like that where it shows a lack of demand. And what are we really looking at when we are looking at a price action chart? When we're looking at candlestick patterns, we are looking at the actions being taken by traders who are actively participating in a market. And so when we see signs of not strong trending markets anymore, that could be a signal of reversal. So that brings us to the first concept, is a delay in a strong trend. For example, when you get something that's trending up to the upside very strongly, and then you just get this choppiness and this starting to decline. Well, this can come out two different ways. Of course, we can just break higher and continue the trend, but if we see strong breaks of support and we start to see things breaking down the other direction, there very well might be some good opportunities to look to reverse this market and to take it short. The first thing I'm going to say about reversals is that, like I mentioned before, trying to just sell into something just because it seems high is a very, very dangerous game to play and goes against that first principle, which is the trend is your friend. However, when the trend is ending, it usually shows some sort of sign. You don't often see a market do something like this, where it's just trending to the upside and then all of a sudden it just goes drop like that. It does happen occasionally, but usually what you see is some sort of early warning sign as traders, institutions, big money move their profits around. Think about it this way. If we're taking a trade here on the long side, usually what's going to happen is it's going to reach some sort of take profit for many traders, and they'll start to take some profit. What does that do? Well, it actually starts to bring the price down a little bit here, and this is where we start to see a shift in that momentum. Because if you're long and you believe it's going to go higher, if that's the general thought process of most traders, the market probably will continue to go higher. However, if you're long and you think it's reaching a topping point, you start to see it reflect in the actual price, and that can lead to much bigger declines as people completely bail on a trend. Okay, so that is kind of the big concept. The other thing that we can look at big time is rejection candles, and I'm going to show you guys some examples. I am going to be cherry picking a little bit here so that we can hopefully get an idea. Understand that I'm not going to pick these out perfectly every time in real time, but generally speaking, there are some things that we can look at. And my two favorite rejection candlestick patterns are going to be pin bars and engulfing engulfing bars, okay? So let's look at one of each really quick. So let's zoom in here and we can see that we've got right here a pretty good example of a bullish pin bar. Now, we are in a dominant downtrend, so I probably wouldn't take this trend or counter trend setup, but just for the sake of example, bear with me. What we saw here is we see price in this one particular candle, this is a daily bar, we see price shoot down in the beginning of the day, but by the end of the day, we had recovered all of that loss. What that tells us is that sellers were not strong enough to keep the price down at those lows, and the buyers basically came in strong and pushed it back to the highs. We can see from there, we got some follow through the next few days. That is a very short example of a rejection candle, a candle that shows us that there's something shifting here in the overall momentum of this downward market. Now, this is not going to work every single time. There are going to be times where a market comes down, we see some sort of pin bar like this, and then the market actually starts to kind of continue to decline. It's not going to be a perfect signal by any means, but as traders, we're trying not to be perfect all the time. We're looking to piece together as many clues about the market as possible so that our trades have a better probability of making money than losing money, okay? And so when we are looking at something like this, that to me is a pretty decent rejection candle, telling us that, hey, there might be a big shift coming here. This might have been the bottom of this push. We can see another one right here, right? Beautiful little rejection candle. And again, I don't want to make it look like it's perfect because it's not always going to be perfect, but these are just clues that we can look for if we're trying to trade tops and bottoms. Again, not the easiest thing in the world to do. However, can be pretty profitable if you know what you're doing, if you're good, and you keep everything else in line, like good risk management, that sort of thing. Here's an example of the second one that I like, which is an engulfing candle. An engulfing candle is just basically, the way I define it, it's a little bit, everybody has their own particular opinion about how you should do it. Some people say it needs to completely engulf the previous candle in terms of wicks and bodies and everything like that. But for me, the bodies alone are, for the most part, enough to tell me that, okay, hey, there's rejection here. Because what are we seeing from breaking it down standpoint? We see a market pushing up, right? We have strong momentum up, and then bam, we just get a sharp sell-off in favor of a reversal here. And a lot of times we do see some sort of follow-through. Is that every single time? No. But combined with other factors, looking for, the dominant trend, looking for perhaps fundamentals if you trade fundamentals, right? Whatever you're looking for in addition to that can be a good signal to combine with the trade. Now, again, let's see if we can find anything else here. Here's a bullish engulfing, right? You have a downtrend, and then all of a sudden, bam, we get this big green candle that leads to multiple days of rallying the other direction. Right, so this is usually how trends start, is we get some sort of big shoot to the other direction. Here's another engulfing candle, right? Strong rejection there, a beautiful reversal that really came down hard. I actually caught this trade. I think I was short right around this area. That was way back on the channel at one point or another, but yeah. So that's some candlestick patterns, some general concepts there. Let me add one more thing. Generally speaking, I do like using the RSI as a general feel of how stretched a market is or not. Okay, the RSI is this indicator down at the bottom of the screen. I'm using a 7-period RSI, nothing super fancy. The standard is 14, but I like 7-period just because that's a little bit shorter term and tells me just kind of how stretched a market is, relatively speaking. When we get into a overbought or oversold status, which is above 70 is considered overbought, meaning it's stretched to the upside, and under 30 is considered a oversold, meaning it's stretched to the downside. This is, sometimes people make fun of it and they say, oh, well, just because it's, reaching that level, it doesn't always reverse. And that is very much true. You can see here's a reading where it said it was overbought right around this area, but the market still had plenty of room to go. So this is where combining multiple factors, like I said, can be interesting because the RSI by itself can actually produce some decent signals. Check this out. We had a very nice bottom there to this range when we reached oversold. We'll see if we can find other opportunities like that. Here's a poor example, right? This was, it started saying oversold right around this area. So you have to take it with a grain of salt, but generally speaking, it can produce some decent signals, and combining this with other technical factors can be a pretty interesting setup. Just out of curiosity, we can take a look at Euro USD right now. You can see that we are in fact in a overall overbought status. However, if you are an avid watcher of the channel, I've been long on Euro USD and we made some good money on the run up. However, I did close out profits and I'm probably going to wait on a potential pullback, just because I do see some potential topping points here on Euro USD. And if I re-enter, I'll do so once we get some sort of pullback. So that's how I might use it. Even though I am predominantly a trend follower, I can combine these concepts with my analysis to say, hey, it looks like we might be entering a topping point. Maybe it's time to hold off on trying to buy or sell this market and wait until we get some sort of pullback for another entry. So that might be how I would use something like this. Again, not necessarily a topping point here just because we reach an overbought status on the RSI, but looking for multiple clues saying, hey, you know, there's rejection candles here. Maybe that could be something to combine into your analysis. So looking for tops and bottoms, again, is not an easy thing to do, but once we have a setup, what do we do with it? So if we do think we have a decent setup, how do we actually trade tops and bottoms? Well, there's a couple different ways. I think if you're trading with the trend and looking for continuation, looking for a bottom in a dominant uptrend is actually something I love to do. Right? So if we know that the overall momentum is to the upside, but we have a pullback coming into a market, for example, this to me is a buy all day long. If we get that pullback, we look for a setup that aligns with the overall trend, but short term, we are looking for a reversal. That's how I personally love to use concepts like this, is take a look at the dominant trend and then wait for a counter trend move and then look to get in on the pullback. That's, for me, my favorite setup by the books, looking for continuations off of a pullback, right? So we can employ those pullback concepts into our reversal-based things. Basically, if we start to see this and then we start to see signs of bullishness, well, man, there might actually be a good setup there to look for. So that is how I will use these in my own trading. Again, I generally will be trying to trade in the direction of the trend. During this whole time, if you're a long-term viewer of the channel, you know that during all of this move, I was bearish on Euro USD. We caught a lot of great moves there. That's a long period of time. This is a daily chart. Lots and lots of sell trades that were profitable just by staying with that long-term trend and looking for reversals in favor of the downtrend, meaning we were looking for rallies and trying to reverse them in favor of a long-term downtrend. Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that clears up some of the questions that you guys have about reversals and looking for tops and bottoms. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And from the world's best boss, I hope you have a wonderful week and happy trading.